All right, guys, it's Friday. We all made it. Thank goodness we're here for the weekend. And my good friend Toni sent in his Eterna KonTiki date for everyone to, look at on the channel. I don't think there's a bunch of videos of these, and honestly, I'm having a hard time finding an insane amount of information on these. It's a very cool watch. Real quick, let's talk about the size, because you wouldn't think it's as big as it is. I mean, it's on the larger size for, like a sport dressy kind of watch, but it's a 42 millimeter, 50 millimeter lug to lug, 22 millimeter lug width, and it's only 12.8 thick, but that's including the domed crystal, so it's probably closer to like 12.3 thick, really. It has a screw down crown, 200 meter resist, very cool case back. You can see it as a Swiss made. This does have the SW200 automatic movement in it. And you can see there it has a branded leather strap. It says genuine leather handmade. Smells great. But if you look at the front of it, it almost has like a sailcloth type look to it, but it is definitely leather. Super comfortable. I love the cross stitching all the way up and down it. It's a little departure to the normal stitching or no stitching, like you have on a lot of standard watches, where you just have it where the fold over is. But I think it's really cool that it has it all the way down, and then it's kind of padded. Super comfortable. A little bit of detail on the, zoom in. A little bit of detail on the crown there. You can see it has the indents, the 5 indents all the way around there. That's kind of Eterna's little signature thing. You can see the 5 little ball bearings that they embed into the dial. And they do that, I'm pretty sure, on all of the watches, or at least all of the more recent ones. You have the large triangles for the 12, 3, 6, and 9. And then you have the applied, they're all applied indices. But then you have the dots going around the inner side of the circle. That would be like your minute track. In the center there, you can see that is a little bit different of an embossing. That is, I'm going to probably butcher the name, but that is a French Polynesian island, the Rarori Island. Maybe I screwed that up. I'm sure I did. I barely know English, let alone any other language. But you have a very cool loop on the back side of that seconds hand. I think that's a pretty cool feature. I don't see that done a lot. I think that's really cool. You have the red tip on there. And then, of course, you have some loom-filled hands, the hour and the minute. You can see the loom on the minute hand goes all the way basically to, I wish I had a really nice pointer, but it goes all the way to that inner track. And then from that point on, it's just a polished bit. And then all the other indices have a little loom dot out on the triangle all the way around, and then you have like the reverse triangle going in. And I'm a sucker for the triangles and like the monster teeth and all that stuff, so this watch really speaks to me. I think it's a super cool look. It's not done like most watches are. And then you can see the date function down here at approximately in between the 4 and 5, evenly divided there. It's very discreet. It doesn't upset the balance of the dial at all. As you can see, for the most part, now that you're looking for it, you see it. But if you weren't looking for it, it pretty much disappears with the white numbers in the back, the black background of it. So it pretty much disappears altogether. So a very thin profile, really nice finishing on the brushing. And then the relief edge there is polished. And then you have the polished center bezel. So I'm going to toss this on wrist. I'm going to show you guys what it looks like on my 7 1/4 approximate wrist size. Again, this strap is super comfortable. It just molds right to your wrist. I could envision this as being like a very strong sports type weekend, chill type everything watch. Or you could wear it every day. Say you're if you're in an atmosphere where you're in the office and stuff like that, and maybe you're just burned out of dive watches. Right now, I feel like I'm burned out of dive watches. I've been wearing the King Khaki a lot, and I could definitely see wearing this Eterna KonTiki, which they do make these in dive watches, and they have a bunch of different colorations of even this model. I think this is out of production. I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but when I go looking for these, the last time they were sold on Joma Shop, they were at around $4.99, but they're long been sold out. So I think you're really looking at the used market. You have really nice hardware here. It's a screwed link, and it's a milled buckle. And they did make this one with a metal bracelet. That would have been really cool to see that, as much as I like this leather strap, which we're coming into fall time, and I think this works really good. But a metal bracelet is always my preference. They have some really cool different multicolored ones. They had one black with like the orange triangles. They had some whites and blues, and they had a bunch of different color combinations of these. I think it's a very cool looking watch, very sporty looking. And if you have I'm going to say if you have like a 7 or larger inch wrist, that I think you can definitely wear this 42 with a 50 millimeter lug to lug. This is going to wear very comfortably on your wrist. It does have a screw down crown, which is nice. I'm going to go ahead and move those hands out of the way, and I want to close you guys out with a little loom shot. I don't want to go too long on this video. It has a really cool packaging too, a really nice wood style box, some good literature, and then it has, of course, the outer boxes over here. So, and I'll put the model number in the description. Unfortunately, I don't have a link to buy these anywhere, guys, so I apologize for that. Again, coming at you with a really cool watch that, yeah, thanks, Rob, I can't get this watch. So I apologize for that, but if you watch on the used market, maybe one will pop up. So you can see instantly a little bit of pop of color there. I'm not sure how long the loom lasts, but you have a nice, I think in the camera it's picking up very green. It is definitely greenish, but it's not as green as like the Seiko loom. It almost has like I was gonna say it has like a slight hint of blue to it, but it's very, very subtle. So I'm not sure what their formula is exactly, but it's not like straight green. It almost has like a little hint of white or blue almost to it as well, but it's definitely green. But with those polished applied indices, you can see as you get, I have a lamp off into the background, and so there's very little light in this room, but you can see it just catches the light really good. So this is going to be easy to read in low light, no problem. So there's a quick look at this. Big thanks to Toni for lending this in. Super cool watch, and I'm excited to see more Eternas in the future. I think they provide an excellent product at a very valuable price point, especially if you look on the gray market or even in the used market. There's some really cool offerings there. All right, thanks guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.